And, when I first started this thing in 2017 with Daniel Lupker, we did this as a response. And I'm pretty sure you got some questions about how we got started, but we did this.
That was right where I was going. You got me nailed.
What we saw in 2016. So I mean, if you want to ask that question, go ahead. I mean,
well, yeah, but even before we get there, I want to talk a little bit about like before Hard Lens and how you even got like to the point where you were. Did you know Daniel before then? I know you were in the military. You were ex-military, and how that kind of shaped your political views, and whether that was more through work and after the military that you kind of made that lefty independent turn. I don't know. Again, I don't know very much about you before 2018, 2019, when I started following you, thanks to our friend Mona in the chat, who I did want to give a big shout out to, because she's just amazing. And Mona is the connector. She's the Roger Meadows before there was Roger Meadows. She was dropping super chats left, right, sideways 2 years ago, and she really was the bridge.
Who doesn't love Mona
Carmona?
No, wait. Hold on. Before I start answering your questions, let's give it up for the wonderful, outstanding, incredible, beautiful, stunning, commanding, legendary, mythical Mona Carmona, who has captured all of our hearts, and how envious I am that she has found someone to take care of her as well. Oh my God, Mona,
Sleepy Josh,
we love you so much. So there you go. Yes,
Mona.
I know, Sleepy Josh, that lucky guy. Oh, Mona, but we still love you so much. So there you go. You get so many hearts right there. Everyone in the chat, give a heart to Mona Carmona. But she has been an outstanding voice. And Mona, you have been a strong backbone to the independent media community. You have been a voice of reason. You have been a spokesperson for those that need help. So Mona, we love you so much. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you so much for connecting all of us together. A cheers to Mona Carmona. And if everyone doesn't give a heart to Mona Carmona right now in the chat, well, then I'm gonna have to give you a firm deck in the jaw right now. So there you go. So that is a threat. Cancel me if you must. But that's for Mona, because she's the best there is, best there ever will be. No debates, no conversation.
But so before Hard Lens, you did military, other jobs. I saw that you were doing some interviewing. I saw you with a mic in your hand. I don't know if that was in the field for Hard Lens or beforehand. What else did you do before you were doing indie media and you dedicated? And dude, anyone that puts their career and puts their life on the line for this, I give 100% credit to. So again, so
let's talk about the origin of Hard Lens, but we got to rewind back the clock. So between 2004 and 2008, I served in the United States Marine Corps. My job was Rifleman 0300. I did 2 tours in Iraq. First tour was in Baghdad. The second tour was in this place called Ashraf, which is a story upon itself. But after my 4 years, I wanted to get out and I wanted to expand my education. I wanted to understand the world, maybe understand where I was at too. And I got my education and my political science major degree and my minor in news media and journalism at Northeastern Illinois University. And it was there where I started to realize and look at the fact that we live in a corrupt neoliberal economic system where the Democratic and Republican parties in general have been screwing over working class Americans, no matter what your generation is, the color of your skin, or who you worship. If you're a diehard Republican voter or a diehard Democratic voter, I mean, okay, that's what you feel comfortable with. You're a very good puppet. You're a very good puppet to this neoliberal system. But even to my shame, then I voted Democrat just before the 2016 election, or at least before the general election, because I did support Bernie Sanders in the primary of 2016 and even in the 2020 primary as well. But after that primary, I realized that we were in such a absolute disaster. But before we get to the primary of 2016, because even then, Hard Lens Media was just still a dream. I mean, it didn't even come into existence yet. Obviously, I graduated from Northeastern Illinois University in 2013. And for about 10 months of my life, I was unemployed and I was a completely different person than I am now. I was in a very miserable spot and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I applied to like 100 different jobs. And the only place that hired me was Costco. So in 2014, I started my job at Costco, and for a minute there, I kind of resigned myself like, oh, this is where it all leads up to. This is my dead end. I got drunk one night, very, very bad. Look, hey, I'm gonna be real with you guys, okay? I was in a bad spot. 2014, going early 2015, I was in a really, really bad spot. And I'm gonna say 3 letters that might offend or get people upset, but I was watching a live stream of TYT, Young Turks, and they were talking about Wolf-PAC. And I will remember these words from Cenk Uygur, and I will take these words as my own. But it had to be about Wolf-PAC and getting money out of politics. And the words he said was, don't be that person who said they wish you could have helped. And I took those words to heart, and I joined Wolf-PAC. And that's where I met my good friend, Daniel Lupker, and so many other wonderful people, where we actually got, in 1 year, in 2015, the entire Senate of Illinois, Democrat senators in Illinois, and the Democratic House of Representatives in Illinois, including Michael Madigan. And if to your audience, if you don't know who Michael Madigan is, I mean, he was at one point the longest Speaker of the House in any state in American history, but also was an important figure in designing the Illinois Democratic machine,
right?
Which is by far the most corrupt machine to ever exist. And the fact we got Michael Madigan to agree, yeah, hey, let's get money out of politics. It's a miracle upon itself. But we got Senate Joint Resolution passed. But after we got SJR 42 passed, when I came up with the plan of making Illinois Wolf-PAC to be the hub of helping out our neighboring Midwestern states, Wolf-PAC kind of thumbs it down.
Oh, they didn't like that
and
idea.
So I was going through the numbers of just like, okay, I'll just help keep on training new volunteers for Wolf-PAC. But during the 2016 election cycle, especially during the primary, I was following more about the Bernie Sanders campaign. I was really supportive of it. And my friend Daniel Lupker, who just recently came back from Iowa, supporting a Bernie Sanders rally, reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to be part of this radio program at Q4 Radio? And I said, okay, because in my life as a kid, I remember the early days of the shock jock radio era, and I always kind of wanted to be like one of those commentators, one of those spokespeople on radio, and I remember the days of Howard Stern and Opie Nancy and Mancow and all those other people who were the shock jocks of the era. But I was never going to kind of go down that era. But I was always like, yeah, I would like to be on radio, do that kind of stuff. And we were on Q4 for radio for a while, and I broke with Wolf-PAC and eventually was TYT after the New York primary, where I'll never forget this. I was at Walgreens, and we just got done wrapping up a program at Q4 Radio. And this was the night of the New York primary in 2016. And I was watching TYT at the time, and I was moving fast. I was listening to the radio, listening to the show via my headphones as they're talking about the New York primary and how the votes were tallying in, and everything was already looking like BS because there was election fraud.
Because of Brooklyn. I was watching that night too.
Especially for those of you who remember the New York primary.
We were watching that night too. Yep, I was watching.
Yeah. So
you're watching the Brooklyn primary.
Yeah, I'm watching the primary, and again, to anyone that wants to correct me on this, I'll apologize, but this is how I remember it. I'm buying a pizza, a frozen, DiGiorno's pizza. I managed to pay it. I'm doing everything with one hand because I got one hand with the cell phone, pulling out my wallet, pulling out the money because I want to at least get some dinner before everything else happens. I walk to my car. The New York primary is already being called for Clinton. And I'll never forget these words. And again, audience, if you want to correct me on this, I'll apologize, but this is how I'm remembering it. So if I'm getting senile, correct me on it. I remember these words, and I hope I'm wrong, but I remember them because they were etched in my brain. After New York was called for Hillary, I remember the words from Cenk Uygur. Jimmy Dore, who was still a part of TYT at the time, was right there beside him. And Cenk said these words like this: how do we help Hillary Clinton? And I remember Jimmy just kind of turning to the side of Cenk, like, and he gave this look like, what? Like, he didn't say anything. I know Jimmy didn't say anything, but Jimmy looked at Cenk, and I was frozen there for a minute too. Like, what did you just say? Help Hillary Clinton. And then after a while, as TYT was starting to kind of somewhat semi-promote Clinton before the Philadelphia convention, Democratic convention in Philadelphia, I eventually sent in my resignation to Wolf-PAC because I felt that was Cenk being the head of Wolf-PAC and TYT. You know, when you're talking about supporting Hillary Clinton, you are breaking the very principles of what Wolf-PAC is all about. Clinton is about getting money out of politics. I mean, Clinton is all about money in politics.
Money in politics,
as corrupt as they can get, yeah. And I felt that I was betraying the principles of it. And I'll never forget the words of Donald Trump during the first Republican primary debate, which was the most honest moment in American politics ever, which was, I give these people money and they do what I say. And that, again, Trump said the loud part quiet. I mean, said the quiet part loud. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Said the quiet part loud. I give these people money and they do what I say, being the politicians. And I just had up there with TYT and Wolf-PAC. I was like, no, this is not it. This is wrong. And so Daniel and myself and a few other people, when we were just kind of starting to tiptoe into radio, into YouTube, we went to Philly to cover the convention, to talk about it. And we talked to a lot of Bernie Sanders delegates and Bernie Sanders volunteers, and all of their stories were the same.
Yep.
All their stories were the same.
Yep.
We were harassed by Clinton supporters. They were physically assaulted by Clinton supporters.
They were
yelled at by
down
Clinton supporters. And it was all the stories were all the same. And I'm actually proud of this moment. Daniel Lupker and myself. So Mona, you probably know this. So shout out to Mona. But Daniel and myself, we actually snuck in at the Wells Fargo Center the day when Clinton was going to be named as the nominee for the Democratic Party. And we didn't go through the basement. We didn't go through the ceiling. We didn't go through any back doors or any kind of hidden entrances. We went through the front door in Philly.
Nice.
Oh, no. So here's what happened. Here's what happened, right? So Daniel had the camera gear and equipment. So he looked like a professional cameraman, right? He had the microphones and everything, and I had nothing on me. And so the person that was able to get us snuck in, he got Daniel through because Daniel couldn't pull it off because he had all the camera equipment. So he was like, hey, look, I got this camera gear. I'm here with the press, all that good stuff.
Sure.
Myself, I had nothing. So I'm thinking, shit, how am I going to pull this off? So, and there's a few other people that are trying to sneak in too. And I didn't want Daniel to be there by himself. So I kind of aggressively pushed myself forward because I didn't want to leave my friend Daniel in there by himself.
Sure.
Like, hey, where's Kid at? Because there's some details I'm leaving out because I don't want to say any.
Of course. No, we have to withhold names for the innocent. That's right. To protect the innocent.
So Daniel and I are, walking through. And, or at least Daniel's already inside the Wells Fargo Center. The dude who's trying to let me in, oh my God, I still want to punch him in his mouth. He gave me like the pass to get inside, but he's like, stay away from me. Don't go walk too close to me. Don't walk too far away from me. And I'm like, dude, why are you broadcasting it so loud? And as we get to the security center, he's kind of shaking. He's shaking in his boots. And I'm looking at him like, dude, you've done this for a few other people, and the fact that you're shaking like a twig in a hurricane, it's like a big broadcast signal. But thankfully, the security guards suck. And I'm just thinking, like, okay, because I'm like, all right, like, I had to kind of make myself look busy, look at my watch, all that kind of good stuff. I'm like, all right, hey, there you go. The guys let me through, and I get past the security guard, and he's like, quickly, give me that pass. And I'm like, okay, dude, calm down. And then he says, I hope no one's noticing me. And I look back as he's walking so scared. And I'm thinking, dude, if I'm arrested and I see you in the prison cell next to me, I'm going to have my hands around your fucking neck because you are broadcasting yourself so loud. So I'm thinking, okay, if anything happens, I got to find Daniel. I got to find Daniel as fast as possible, man.
Right.
So I'm walking around, and I did a whole circle inside the Wells Fargo area, like, hey, Daniel, where are you at? Where you at? And the original thing was, so we're in there, and we're trying to film at least what's going on. But there was a lot of miscommunication that was happening. And so what we decided to do was film what was happening to the Bernie Sanders supporters and the Bernie Sanders delegates. And honestly, the way the Clinton supporters were acting, I couldn't tell the difference between them and the most diehard radical Trump supporters. The way they were assaulting Bernie Sanders supporters and Green Party supporters. It was the most shocking thing I ever saw. And I remember walking out of the Wells Fargo Center thinking, oh my God, there's a 50-50 chance that Donald Trump's going to win this thing. And there are so many people that don't understand the severity of Trump and why Clinton is such a terrible choice. And of course, Bernie Sanders cucked out and acted like a little bitch. And so after Philly,
Twice, yeah.
I was kind of like resigning myself, like, okay, this is a bunch of bullshit. Nothing's ever going to happen. It was a great dream to be on radio. It was a great dream to do these things, but you know what? Fuck it. No more. But in January of 2017, I get a phone call from Daniel Lucker. And he says, hey, Kit, let's try this again one more time. I got an idea. We're going to build an independent media network, but we're in a race against 100,000 other people. And there's a 100% certainty that we're going to fail. Do you want to do it? Me being crazy. Yeah, sure thing, buddy. Let's fucking do it. Yeah. It's either we shit or we get off the fucking pot. Fucking why not? Round 2. Bring it on. We ain't going nowhere.
Love it.
So